Now at 10, a bill passing the legislature to address what prosecutors say is a problem. People getting charged for a crime only to be deemed incompetent. Plus, after decades of planning and years of work, the Provo River diverted to form a new delta. What's behind the move? And
he may be taken away.
An update today in the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial. The jury returning a guilty verdict on all counts after only 3 hours of deliberation.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
And welcome to the ABC4 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Emily Flores.
And I'm Glenn Mills. Thanks so much for joining us. Tonight we begin with prosecutors saying a flaw in our justice system helps criminals get off the hook, only to commit more crimes. They say it regularly happens when a defendant claims they're not competent to stand trial.
ABC4's Courtney Johns explaining what happens and shows us a bill that could help address the issue. Courtney.
Yeah, Emily, this is something that we have covered extensively with a man who has been charged on multiple occasions involving crimes against children. And in each of those occasions, he was deemed not competent to stand trial. The judge then dismissing the case and releasing him. Forensic evaluators are responsible for determining if someone is competent to stand trial. And while these evaluators are educated in psychology, some prosecutors say they don't understand the legal definition of it and end up providing an inaccurate report. Representative Ryan Wilcox says HB330 requires these evaluators to have more training on the legal system. They're also required to provide more information on how they determine someone's competency, including if they can become competent. This is called restoration treatment, which involves a defendant remaining in a controlled facility while they're treated. Now, depending on the crime, defendants are held for a limited amount of time, but this bill would allow a judge to extend that time by 45 days if progress is being made. Wilcox says this also allows professionals more time to address a mental health issue, like someone becoming stable on a new medication.
Meanwhile, the emergency is stopping this cycle where they're committing a crime and then they're incompetent and were immediately released because of it, can't be prosecuted, and we start over again with a new victim.
HB330 is on its way to the governor's desk for consideration, and Wilcox says he's confident that Governor Spencer Cox will sign off on it. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Courtney Johns, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Well, this Women's History Month, Governor Spencer Cox and Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson announcing period products will now be available free of charge in every state building across Utah.
Tampons and pads will be free and in every all-gender and women's bathroom. This so state employees do not have to jump through hurdles in case they get their cycle early or unexpectedly.
I'm so happy that we're here. We're able to talk about this issue, that we're able to normalize this issue, because this is a very normal issue.
Henderson says she has personally had to miss votes while in the Senate to find a period product. And this announcement lifts that concern for women in the legislature. Advocates saying the action removes one more barrier for women.
And to new at 10, the Granite School District now using a gun-sniffing dog for its schools as an added safety measure. Bolt is its name and has just completed training. Will be the first certified gun protection dog in the state. ABC4's photojournalist J.D. Johnson has the story.
Bolt is a firearm detection dog. He's the first and currently only certified gun detection dog in Utah.
Their primary focus is to be an extra layer of security when it comes to student and staff safety and well-being for the Granite School District. We'll employ them to search schools and campuses in case there's a potential threat of a weapon being on campus.
I get to take a dog with me to work every single day. On top of, I got into this career to help people. I don't put on my uniform every morning with the intention of going and arresting someone, going and making someone's life more difficult. I'm here to help.
The Granite School District is always looking at any tools or resources that might be available to us to improve upon school safety and student and staff safety and well-being.
Bolt has been a great asset to me. It's helped me be a better officer, and he's just one other thing that really helps make it possible to do what we do.
Turning to weather now, taking a look at the beautiful sunset earlier this evening from Little Cottonwood Canyon, just outside Alta's Rustler Lodge. A quiet weather day here in the Salt Lake Valley.
All right, on that note, let's head over to forecaster Bob Bedore, who is in for Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy for the very latest. Bob?
Hey, you know, yeah, we did have a nice little relaxing sort of today. I'm getting my days mixed up here, but we had a nice relaxing day. It was nice, but take a look at this. You showed me a sunset. I'll show you one. Scott Taylor sent us this from Magna. Beautiful shot. And then Chris Williams also wanted to get in on the action. He sent us a sunset from south of Jordan as we got going. So like I said, we had that kind of calm day, which was good because we've had a lot of active weather, but this one is going to be changing quite a bit as things are going to start changing. Right now, outside our own studios here, 34 degrees. We see those clouds starting to come back in. And if we look at our satellite, we haven't seen much going on today, but let's take a look up there at the north as we see starting to get those clouds coming in and some more action coming through. We do have a snowstorm coming in. It's a slight one. It'll be coming in during the night tonight, and then it's likely that it could make things a little messy for the commute, something we're going to have to be keeping an eye on. So make sure if you're going, give yourself that extra time and watch and see what's going on with that. As we've got our temperatures right now, you can see still got some good 30s going on throughout most of the state. 21 there in Price, 38 in St. George. The temperature is going to be a little lower than normal. We had that snowfall the last couple of days. Not bad, really good temperature, especially 7 inches in Zion National Park. That's really good there. But what's really been nice is our water that we've had. As you can see, as we're starting to go into March, we are well above where we are needing to be in our precipitation right now in our water year, and that's good. We're going to keep that up, and I'll tell you more about some storms coming in my full forecast. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, tonight, a statement from the family of Chase Allen, who you see here, the 25-year-old who was killed in an officer-involved shooting yesterday in Farmington. The family saying in part, our family was not properly notified of Chase's death as next of kin, finding out about his death from the media. The family continuing on to talk about who he was, saying he was always selflessly helping and protecting others in need. He's been studying law the last few years and was a patriot, doing what he could to defend the people's freedom and liberty in his community.
Almost 30 years of work and 6 years of construction, reaching a milestone today. The Provo River making a course change to help create habitat for a species that only exists in Utah Lake and its tributaries. ABC4 photojournalist Tracy Smith in Provo for the occasion.
This is the Provo River. Before today, it was not here. What you are seeing is a diversion to create a new delta to save a fish.
This is a milestone for this project, and what it is reconnecting the river to the delta and the lake, and it's providing essential habitat for the June sucker.
The historic Provo River Delta was channelized to prevent flooding, and what we lost at that time from a June sucker perspective is the right habitat to support early life stages of that fish.
This project is a great example of how we're using water for people, but we're also making sure we're taking care of the natural habitat that may be affected by the projects and the work that we're doing.
Rivers are important. I think that they, help calm people down, provide a great place to get away from things, relax. They draw people to them.
We've created complex habitat and the habitat conditions that these fish need to survive and grow. So they'll have the right temperature, the right food sources, but then also they'll have places to hide from predators.
They're going to continue to complete the construction here, and then all along the way we're going to be monitoring the species. So the fish that we just released have tags.
There you go.
Excellent, thank you.
It's been a long time. It's been pretty much most of my career that I've been involved with this in some way or another, and just to see it happen is just a highlight for sure.
Environments are healthy, people are healthy too.
It'll be a year before any of us can enjoy the new trails and wildlife in the Delta area. But when it opens, I was told it's going to be good. Reporting in Provo, Tracy Smith, ABC4 News.
A jury finding Alex Murdaugh guilty on all 4 charges related to the murder of his wife and son.
Yeah, the trial lasting 28 days with the jury hearing testimony from more than 70 witnesses, including Alex Murdaugh himself. ABC's M. Wynn is outside the court in Walterboro, South Carolina.
Tonight, in the closely watched double murder trial of Alex Murdaugh, the jury finding the once prominent lawyer in South Carolina's Lowcountry guilty of murdering his wife Maggie and youngest son Paul in June of 2021.
Mr. Murdaugh, you now having been found guilty of 2 counts of murder involving your wife and your son.
That verdict came in after just under 3 hours of deliberations.
Guilty verdict.
The jury siding with the prosecution that focused arguments on several key revelations. First, pointing to how Murdaugh admitted to lying to police about his whereabouts the night of the murders. Second, that 2 crucial items are still missing, a family gun and Murdaugh's clothes he's seen wearing in a video Paul took about an hour before the killings. And third, alleging the fourth-generation lawyer committed the murders in an effort to preserve his legal legacy and gain sympathy, just as his law firm was on the verge of uncovering his alleged financial crimes.
This is a common sense case. And you didn't leave that common sense with you when you came here 6 weeks ago.
The defense had called that theory illogical, saying he was a loving father with no history of violence towards his family.
Even if the financial day of reckoning was impending, if it was right there, Alex would not have killed the people he loved the most in the world. There's no evidence that he would do that.
Tonight, South Carolina's Attorney General, alongside Attorney Creighton Waters, celebrating.
Today's verdict proves that no one, no matter who you are in society, is above the law.
A sentencing hearing is scheduled for tomorrow morning. Murdaugh faces 30 years to life in prison without parole. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Walterboro.
Coming up, top diplomats from the U.S. and Russia meeting face-to-face for the first time since Russia invaded Ukraine.
And a man arrested and charged with attempting to place an explosive device on an aircraft after his bag triggered an alarm at a Pennsylvania airport.
And we're looking live over Logan in Utah State, where storms should be coming in pretty soon. I'll tell you what you can expect and what you've got ahead for the weekend. It's all coming up in my full forecast right after this.